beautiful friends, it's Sunita. Welcome to Sunita Makes Crochet Items. Today we're going to get it together and do part 5. At least the start of part 5. I think I am going to go ahead and take it in bits and pieces, only because it's a process. So thank you for watching, and let's get started on part 5. You'll need the ears, the muzzle, a needle, and eyes. So for part 5, we're going to get started. You're going to need the ears and your muzzle. Not right now, but you'll need them in a little bit. So just so you know, remember how I recaked this Premier Blooms yarn? This is all that I have left. And honestly, I think that will be enough. But we're not going to color control. We're just going to let it do its thing. So thank you again for having patience and allowing me grace to get this together. I've tried multiple times to work it up, but we're just gonna go with it. So technically this is your intro. So let's just get started. All right, so for row 1, we're gonna start off with a magic circle. I like to do the double magic circles, so loop around twice, single crochet or chain to lock it in. That doesn't count. And then we're going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's do the magic circle. Magic circle is your loops here. You have 1, 2, your tail. Pull the tail just slightly. The first one to go in, which was that one. Pull that one first. And then makes that other tail disappear. It's kind of gone. And then you pull the tail. Bada bing, bada boom. So look at it, cinched it up. All right, so I kind of just pull it just a little bit. Now for row 2, we'll just go ahead and do an increase. Now for the first or the second row, I always carry this tail kind of to secure it just a little bit. So you have your bead there. Go in that one first. We're not chaining or anything. So go in and do a single crochet in there 1 time. Do it again 2 times. So that's 2 single crochets. And then at this point I just really focus, and this is when I count 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep carrying that tail. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. 11, and 12. So you should have 12 single crochets on row 2. And like I said, I pulled this tail just a little bit to cinch it in. This is the one you just came out of, so this is the next one you're going to go in. So for row 3, you're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets. So 1, increase, 1 increase all the way around until you get to the last stitch, which should be an increase. And for row 3 you should have 18 stitches. 1, 2, 3. You know, I like to just keep doing that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This also helps me remember what row I'm on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you should have 2 stitches left. 1, 2, and 3. So now you're back at that stitch marker because you already went in that one. You should have 18 stitches, and then I just flip this to the other side, and then we're going to go ahead and just keep moving. So row 4, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then increase. You get where I'm going? So 1, 2, just pull that down so it doesn't get in your way. The next one is 3, 4, keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another tip, you'll see you got 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, and right here is your 2 single crochets or your increase. In that last stitch, you just put 2 in there. That's kind of what I look for, but I still mentally count in my head how many stitches I should have per row. Only when you're making this circle a little bit bigger though. And then the last one, 4. All right, so at the end of row 4, you should have 24 stitches. All right, row 5 is 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then an increase, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Repeat that all the way. Oh, I see color coming. And you do want to keep your tension somewhat the same so you don't see holes. I already see that I'm getting a little lax, but it's okay. We can do surgery. The flower part is coming up. Last stitch. All right, let's go to row 6. Row 6 is 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase, 5, 6. So you just keep going that all the way around until you get 36 stitches. That's so cute. And 6. Got a few more. 6. 4. Last stitch. 5 and 6. Look, it's starting to have a little flower shape. All right, so at this point, since this color gray is going to pretty much show up if you do keep using this as a stitch marker, I'm just gonna snip it and then lay it on top. Ooh, it's starting with the green. The flowers are getting petals. Okay, row 8. Just want to crochet over that tail. Let's just start a cup. So that was row 7, 8. We're going to go to row 9. Oh, so it's 4 rows. I feel like this is very unique and very colorful. And honestly, if you did it in a solid color, it would still look beautiful. But I love the flower effects of this stitch. Alright, okay, sorry, I'm talking, but I should be crocheting. So here is row 10. This is the last row of the single crochet, which you should still have 36 stitches. Nope, not even in frame. Two more. Alright, so at this point, you put a stitch marker on this stitch because now we're going to get into the nitty gritty and start sewing. I don't have a stitch marker with me. So what I'm going to do is take this out and just put this in between, just in case we get pulled. The reason for that is because we are going to be sewing. And so what you're going to do is kind of just fold it in half wherever you want it to be. We're going to work on this side because when you keep going in the round, we're going to, for the next steps, we're going to go ahead and form the cheeks. So I just fold it in half like that. And then depending on the ears, I just sew them on. So for these ears, however you put it on, that's how it's going to go on. Kind of like that. Or if you want to sew it on this way, you can do that too. So it's whatever you feel like doing. Okay, so for row 11, I'm going to put my hook back in that loop, take this out, and lay it back down. So for the most part, you're going to, like I said, form the cheeks. And so for row 11, you're going to increase 6 times. So in the next 6 stitches, put 2 single crochets in each stitch. So if we math correctly, 6 times 2 is 12. So let's just make sure we get 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there's your first cheek. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches, just simple single crochet. So you want 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. I'm going to repeat the other cheek. So 6 increases. So 6 times 2 is 12. And just count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so here's my little dilemma. My cheeks are not aligned with the ears. So technically, if you want, you can go ahead and sew the ears after you do row 11. That way you can kind of place where the cheeks are. So an ear should be right along the line, but you know, we're just going to go with it. So for the rest of the stitches, you should have 18 stitches. So you started off with 12, 6, 12. That's 30. And then you should have 18 stitches left. So at the end of row 11, you should have 48 stitches. Let's see if my math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yay, my math was right. So now for row 12, what you're going to do is put 2 single crochets or 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to do that 4 times. So 4 times 4 is 16. This is how my brain works, people. I have to compute by stitches. So now we're just going to go 2 single crochet increase, which is 4. And then we get to 16. Let's just do it together one at a time. So 1, 2, increase, 3, 4, that's 1 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 3, one more time, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you should have 16 stitches. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yay, my math was right. Now it is gonna kind of like go a little, what's the word, wavy, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. It'll smooth out after a bit. So now you're going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so what you did on this side, you're going to do on this side, but the opposite. So what you're going to do is increase first and then 2 single crochets. You'll still have 16 stitches. So do it together. Increase first. 1, 2, 2 single crochets, 3, 4, increase, 5, 6, 2 single crochets, 7, 8, increase, 9, 10, 11, 12, increase, 13, 14, last 2, 15, and 16. So there's your, yeah, the ears are going to be a little cockeyed, but that's okay. It's like it's turning its head. So really, I would highly suggest not to sew your ears until you get this face done, because you still have room to get in here. I'm not going to take it off and redo it. All right, so the last section of this row should be 18 stitches. So at the end of row 12, you should have 56 stitches. So let's see if my math is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and last stitch is 18. We're going to go ahead and row 13 is where you get to just make sure your math worked. We're going to single crochet 1 in each stitch all the way around, and you should have 56 stitches. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, Oh, I thought I pulled out that stitch marker. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Oh, I missed counting somewhere. We're just going to add another one. I'm just going to add one more. My count was off somewhere. There we go, 56. 14. Where's that stitch marker? What we're going to do is do 2 single crochets and a decrease 4 times. So that's going to be 1, 2, decrease is 3. So 3 times 4. We're going to do it 4 times. Should be 12. So 1, 2, decrease is 3, 4, 5, decrease is 6, 7, 8, decrease is 9, 10, 11, decrease is 12. So do that 2 single crochets and decrease 4 times. Now we're going to single crochet 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we're going to do the other side of the cheek, which is going to be the opposite of what we did here. So you decrease first and then do 2 single crochets 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, decrease 4, 5, 6, decrease 7, 8, 9, decrease 10, 11, and 12. And then you should have 18 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Last stitch is 18. 15. What you're going to do is decrease 6 times. So that's 2 together is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So see how it's starting to cuff. This is where the cheeky is. Now you're going to do 6 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're just going to decrease another 6 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one is 6. So that is pretty much 18 stitches here. And then I'm going to do the remaining 18 stitches at the end of row 15. You should have 36 stitches. So let's make sure I have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Half of the face already done. So now what you're going to do is get your muzzle, and we're basically going to sew it in, but actually kind of lay it where you want it so you kind of know where to put it. And then this is where I'm going to add my eyes, depending on where you want it. So the nose, however you had it, is going to be where you place your eyes, in between the nose. So that's basically how I'm going to have mine. Kind of guesstimate. Okay. So you just want to place it where you have your cheeks, kind of here, but it's going to be overlapping just a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to sew across the top first. But we're not going to cut anything because we need to stuff the muzzle just a little bit. And just like the ears, there's no rhyme or reason, just get it on there. This is my sewing tail, so I don't want to get that in the way. Well, really, let's not put that in until we like where the eyes are first. Do I like where that's at? Yeah, that looks good to me. That was very unorganized. Let's try it again. That seems so little. Okay, that one worked. I was able to push those in with my hands. Oh no. Alright, you're good enough. Let's get some stuffing in here and finish sewing it. Just a little bit of stuffing. Just gonna stuff the muzzle just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the needle back and we can sew this muzzle. Just make sure you don't sew over this last row. Where'd my needle go? We'll just sandwich those two pieces together. Just gonna go back down. I'm sorry. I want to close that before the eyeballs go flying. Alright, so now you have your muzzles attached. What I like to do is you came back out here, just go back in right underneath the tip of that nose. Like right there. And then just go back in this stitch here and the bottom, kind of like that, and pull tight. So that it can kind of like bunches to make it look like a kind of like that. And I just like to sew this and tie it down tight. If you want to go a couple more times, you can. Just tie it together with whatever pieces you have left inside here to secure it. Not too tight, but tight enough. There you have it. There's a little face. How cute is that? Alright, so we'll go ahead and finish up the head. Just make sure we get all these strings out of the way so we don't confuse ourselves later on. Look how cute that is. Alright, row. $16. You're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and that should be 36 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and last stitch is 36. Yay! Alright, so for row 17, you're going to single crochet 4 and then do a decrease. At the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease, 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease is 30. Yay, you did it. Alright, let's go on to row 18. Row 18 is 3 single crochets and decrease. At the end of this row, you should have 24. So that's 1, 2, 3, decrease is 4, decrease 8, decrease is 12, decrease 16, decrease 20, and last stitch is 24. Okay, we're gonna go one more row and then we'll stop. So that was row 18, 3 single crochets and decrease. At the end of this row, you should have 24 stitches. We're going to go to row 19 is 2 single crochets and decrease. At the end of this row, you should have 18. All right, So at this point, I'm going to take this out and put this as my stitch marker. Just pull that a little bit so it doesn't go anywhere. Put these out to the sides. What you're going to do is stuff the cheeks and the head. Stuff it as much as you can, just don't pull that tail. Make sure you get in the cheeks. Kind of make it a little hollow. Just go slowly, a little at a time. You don't have to overstuff it, but just stuff it enough that you fill the cheeks. Once I get a little bit in there, I kind of just rub it and kind of like massage it in. Like so. Just a little bit more. You don't have to get too crazy. You can always put more as you stuff the body, but I don't want it to be too full because, as you can see, some of my stitches are not as tight, but overstuffing will show more of the stuffing coming out. So I'll put the rest away, and then we'll finish off the head with row 20, which is gonna go from 18 to 12. So we'll cinch this in one more time. Row 20, it's just one single crochet and a decrease. At the end of this row, you should have 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so at this point, you should have your head completed. I'm going to go ahead and find my stitch marker. We're going to stop here for part 5, and make this point 1, because this is the head. We'll just, because I don't have my stitch marker, I'm going to use this string as my stitch marker when I go back, and I'll just pull it up. Okay, so for part 5, you needed your ears, your eyeballs, the muzzle, and we just went ahead and sewed on the pieces. So remember how I kind of goofed? I normally sew the ears one on each side, but this one I made a little too close. So it's going to be on the opposite side of the cheeks, but it's still cute. So it is what it is. I like doing this way because the amigurumis kind of have a life of their own. So here is part 5.1. I hope you are getting the hang of it. And like I said, they will all be different, but you know, it's still cute. I'll see you guys around for part 5.2, which is going to be basically the body. A lot of this had to do with the sewing, placing the eyes, and you know, do what you can. That was a little much, right? Well, it's so cute though. You did great. And just keep going. We all make boo-boos, but that's okay. Did you finish? Your little face. How cute is this thing? Like seriously. Even with the flaws, it's still beautiful. Just like you. Even though, you know, you may or may not have flaws, but hey, we all have them. But it's okay. Embrace it. So, I went ahead and finished part 5.1. I hope you did too. Look at how cute this thing is. We'll go ahead and finish part 5.2 soon. So just make sure you get your ears, the muzzle, and your little eyes. A needle, and you're good as gold. So thank you again for watching and allowing me grace to kind of work through this process. It's been a busy week, but it is what it is. Yourself so you can love everyone else, and I'll see you around for the last part of Patch. Take care. Thank you again.